3. So hopefully you have been enjoying the discussion board and the conversation with your fellow students, because last week was really fantastic. As we looked at emotional intelligence and what we talked about with Daniel Goleman, and we applied it to music, the discussion board had a range of different people who came across, from Bruce Springsteen, who people said that it evoked an emotion that they kind of grew up with. Bob Marley, who he's talking about peace all the time. Bono, who, although you may or may not like his music, he's very involved in world events, and he has an opinion. Also, he was in a terrible bike accident. I read this in Rolling Stones. He was in a terrible bike accident in New York City, and he busted his hand, and he may not be able to play the guitar again. So, we hope he can come back. There was a band called Rise Against that I'd never heard of before. That it was a punk rock band. I didn't think it was quite that punk, but it was really a great band. And they had a song, and it was called Help Is on the Way. And it was about the Katrina. So they're taking contemporary issues that people have and in putting it in their songs. Rappers have been doing that forever. There was a rapper called Nas, which I'm probably saying wrong, but I'd never heard of him before. But that was interesting. It's taking real life issues and putting it to music. Taylor Swift, kind of an old soul. Her music reflects that, especially her older music. The Beatles, John Lennon. Noah Gunderson was somebody I'd never heard of before, but he had this cool song called The Ledge, which was in the discussion board, and it talked about drinking too much and having his grandfather's blood, recognizing that was an issue. But the music was great, and the lyrics were really soulful. And Marilyn Manson was the one that really threw me for a loop, because, Marilyn Manson, clearly I don't look like a Marilyn Manson fan, sorry. But that's a stereotype. But when I listened to the interview that was done by Fox, I found him to be very insightful, and I agreed. He had a high level of emotional intelligence, and he's there to entertain. So the discussion board, it exceeded expectations. Fantastic. So this week we're going to talk about Machiavelli. And you can't have a leadership course without talking about Machiavellian leadership. One of the quotes is, "Never was anything great achieved without danger." And there are others that you'll see. Ruling by fear is a way to get ahead. That's not a quote, I'm paraphrasing. So anyhow, I want you to read this article about Machiavelli, because that is definitely a style of leadership, and we still have it. Stalin is a Machiavellian leader. Assad is a Machiavellian leader. A dictator leaders follow a Machiavellian philosophy. We're going to talk about some of the Marymount resources. The emergency preparedness video is there. Throughout this course, I'm going to be giving you bits and pieces about what Marymount has to offer. Some of you have already are ready to graduate, unfortunately, and you're just now taking this course. But Marymount has a lot to offer. And even if you're graduating, know that there's the health center, there's the counseling center, there's campus ministry, there's the career center. So these are important things. The discussion board presentation is on Maya Angelou, who is just this most fabulous poet. And the presentation is very well done by your fellow students, so you'll enjoy it. And lastly, there is a video on creating your blog in the Marymount WordPress site, which is called commons.marymount.edu. So you're going to create a blog. The information is there to create the blog. And then you're going to go to the wiki, where you also signed up for a presentation. There's a new wiki now called Blog Post. I think it's maybe blog URL. And you're going to enter your name and what your blog URL is. There's two other columns, a partner name and partner URL. I will put those in, so don't worry about those. So lastly, you talk about how music influences people and power. My son-in-law is a huge Bruce Springsteen's fan. And he and my daughter just got a new dog. And they named their dog Boss. And there he is. That's my family. The dog is sitting on my youngest daughter's lap, Juliana, who is 18. And then next to me is my son-in-law, Joe, who is the dog's father. So you can see the dog, well, not really a father, but the dog, he's the guy in the family. And you can see the dog really respects him. So I'm not sure who's the boss, but boss is really quite a character, as you can see. And then my daughter and son-in-law, Angela and Esteban, above Joe, and then Tina to the right, who in the black, who is Joe's wife, who is my other daughter. So the 3 daughters belong to me. The other 2 are my son-in-laws. Anyhow, it's always nice to kind of know your teacher, and there's the boss. Have a great week, and I'll be enjoying the listening and watching and learning from you on the discussion board. Great work last week. Great work. Bye-bye.